everyone, Charlie again, giving you a studio update as we rebuild something that I'm really excited about. We finally get to move away from Apogee. It breaks my heart because I've been an Apogee interface user for probably over 20 years. Started with the little one with the big knob in the center. Then we had to transpose that cable stuff when Firewire ended. And then I upgraded and I ended up with an Apogee ensemble Thunderbolt, which was awesome because it had high Z inputs for guitar and high Z outputs for reamping. It had 8 mic pre's. It also had front display metering, 4 programmable buttons that I use for like talkback and also for like A/Bing between 2 different monitors. 2 headphone outputs with their own independent monitoring. But on the back, you had ADAT, you had a DB25 cable for outputs that I used to go to some outboard gear. We had SPDIF. We also had word clock in and out. We had, I think, two ADAT in and outs and some other things. But long story short, I got a really strongly worded email to the White Star line. Seriously, I emailed Apogee and I just said, you ditched us. Because when the new Apogee interfaces came out, they're beautiful. They look great. I love the new color, the purple stuff. It looks great. But they basically took everything off that the Apogee Ensemble had, and they only have those features now available on their like $9,000, $7,000 Symphony unit. And I know you can buy like units for like $4,500, but that's still a lot for 8 channels of audio. Now it is DB25, which is great, and it is modular too. But here's the thing. One of the producers I've worked with in the past, his name is Taylor. He is an amazing musician, and I trust his ears very much. And he said, Charlie, I always thought Lynx converters were the best. And so I looked at all of the different interfaces. I contemplated the universal audio. But when you're dealing with outboard gear, I have like a Neve, an LA610, a couple BAEs, 8 T-Gardens. When you're dealing with stuff like that, you don't have 32 channels like you would on a mixing board. So I can't just, what I'm trying to say is I got to be pretty picky about what converters those signal paths go into. And so I decided to go with the Lynx, and I got some help from family and to invest in this until I have a bunch of gear on Reverb that I have to sell to pay for it. But I scored a deal in the IKEA parking lot with a guy off Facebook Marketplace for this, which is 5 10-foot DB25 cables. Now, if you don't know what a DB25 cable is, it looks like this. Kind of looks like an old SCSI port for computers and stuff back in the late 90s. But what that does is it gives me it gives me 8 channels for each one of those little connectors. And the nice thing about the Lynx Aurora is it connects using DB25 cables. So 1 through 8 inputs, DB25. 1 through 8 outputs, DB25. 9 through 16 in and out, DB25. And then there's the 2 AES outputs that are also DB25. But my patch bay is also, I think that's Redco or something like that. That's also DB25, and that's 96 channels. So these DB25 cables, if you've ever bought them, they're like $250 each. And so to score 5 of them for less than 1 is a real blessing to me. But I'm excited to tell you about that the interface, I got notified today that it's been assembled and it's on its way. But the cool thing is it is modular as well. So hopefully, at my age, this thing will last until I'm no longer producing music. But basically, if you want to change out, maybe you want to go to 24 inputs later on, you just pull out one of the cards and insert another, 16 or 17 through 24. That's the advantage of having something like that. If they ever go to Thunderbolt 5, you just take out the Thunderbolt 3 and put in the Thunderbolt 5 card. And you can see a lot of these cards are available on the internet, especially on Reverb, stuff like that. But that's it. And then I'll tell you about one more thing. This keyboard rack behind me, I honestly just don't want to spend that much money on cables, because cables are super expensive if they're good quality. But I decided to wire up my rack with George L cables. If they're good enough for my guitar pedal board with Strymon pedals and 96K Shark chips going into real amps, then they're probably good enough to carry the sound of some old synthesizers. So that will save me probably $400 if I just make George L cables for this vintage keyboard rack. And the cool thing is, because they're like racked right on top of each other, I can just run short cables from there to the mixer, from there to the mixer, and then another short cable from there to there. And then when I get to the bottom, if I don't have enough cable, then I can just order a couple regular, quarter-inch cables from GC or Sweetwater or wherever. Anyways, that's the update for today. I don't think I have anything else to tell you. Oh, yeah, I do. But that's for another video. I have a second set of monitors. Had a bad experience selling my second pair of monitors. And the guy bought them, used every excuse in the book to try to return them, and then they got back to me all busted up. So I'm not happy about that. I have to let you know. Hopefully Reverb will come through and take care of me. So that's it. Sweet deal on some DB25 cables. That will allow me to wire up the interface as soon as it comes in. Yeah, that's it. Stay tuned for more. This is quite the journey, but I can't wait when it's all done and it's all put together and I got the guitar amps back out into the main room, hooked up to the switcher. We'll take some decent photos and update the website and stuff, and we'll go from there. But so my advice, if you're wanting to put a home studio in your house, join a bunch of Facebook groups and look at people that have actually done this before. You'll save yourself a lot of time, a lot of heartache, and a lot of money, because sometimes you just get really bad advice. Sometimes you get really bad advice from music stores. I know for me, this will be another topic, but I believed a lot of the hype around studio acoustical foam instead of not knowing enough about absorption, deflection, diffusion, decay time, all that stuff, flutter echo. And so learning more about that stuff led to some pretty smart decisions acoustically with ATS Acoustics, who provided some really cool treatments for me. So hopefully this is enough information. This will help you on your way. But DB25, they're expensive. Barry Johns will say, learn how to make your own. That's just not me. Sorry, Barry. Love you, brother, but that's not me. So stay tuned. I'll have more in a couple days. Take care.